Now, how many uncontacted tribes are they aware of?
I think there's like over 100 different groups across the Amazon.
To us modern folk, there is perhaps no other way of living than how we are accustomed to. We lead cushy lives with all the comforts and amenities that may have seemed otherworldly to our ancestors. However, even today, many live in the same fashion as their forefathers did thousands of years ago. So adept are they at surviving the impossible that they have crossed all limits of what is considered humanly possible. On his famous podcast, the Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan constantly delves into the lives of the people of this tribe who violate all the laws of physics. Today, we'll explore such superhumans in great length. Let's get started. Number 10. The Asmat Tribe. Indigenous to the southwestern region of Papua, Indonesia, the Asmat people are best known for their remarkable artistic traditions and unique way of life. Living amidst dense swamps, mangroves, and the tangled waterways of the coastal lowlands, they have developed a deep-seated bond with their environment that shapes their culture and sustains their daily needs. The rivers and forests that surround them are the very essence of their existence, providing them with food, materials, and spiritual meaning. The Asmat people have long depended on their intimate knowledge of the land and its resources. Fishing, hunting, and gathering sustain their communities, with the rivers teeming with fish and the forests providing game, sago palms, and other vital plant resources. What truly sets the Asmat apart, however, is their extraordinary artistic expression, especially their wood-carving skills. They are renowned for their masterful craftsmanship, creating stunning wooden artifacts that include intricate shields, canoes, and the iconic Bisj poles, which are towering, elaborately carved sculptures that stand as powerful symbols within their culture. These Bisj poles, often reaching heights of several meters, are not merely decorative objects, they are rich in spiritual and ritualistic significance. They serve as tributes to ancestors, embodying the spirits of the deceased and acting as a medium to bridge the physical world with the supernatural. In Asmat cosmology, these carvings are believed to channel ancestral spirits, guiding them back into the world of the living to offer protection and blessings. Each design etched into the wood is imbued with meaning, often depicting motifs of human figures, animals, or intricate patterns that narrate ancestral stories, battles, and heroic deeds. Socially, the Asmat are organized into clans, each possessing distinct territories and led by individuals whose authority stems from their accomplishments and ability to defend and provide for their people. Leadership within the community is not merely inherited, but earned through acts of bravery, generosity, and skill. These leaders play crucial roles during conflicts, ceremonies, and negotiations with other clans. Rituals and ceremonies are often grand and elaborate. They involve a blend of music, dance, and symbolic exchanges that strengthen the bonds within and between clans. During these gatherings, the community comes alive with rhythmic drumming, chanting, and dances that mimic the movements of animals or tell stories of the ancestors. The exchange of gifts, such as finely carved objects or food, reinforces alliances, resolves disputes, and renews social ties, highlighting the Asmat's values of reciprocity and unity. Most extraordinarily, though, the Asmat were once known for headhunting and cannibalism. Headhunting for them was a means to honor the spirits of their ancestors, ensuring their ongoing presence and influence within the community. It was believed to release the vital energy necessary for the fertility of crops, successful hunting, and the overall prosperity of the clan. Luckily, these practices have now largely faded into the past due to the influence of external forces, including missionaries and government interventions. If you thought this was impressive, just stick around. There's a lot more from where that came. Number 9. Hza Tribe. The Hza Tribe of Tanzania is one of the last remaining groups of hunter-gatherers, continuing a way of life that has persisted for thousands of years. These folks depend entirely on the natural resources they hunt and gather. They have mastered the art of surviving in the wild without modern tools or technology, relying instead on their exceptional skills and resourcefulness. In an episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, David Cho recounted his experiences with the Hza, sharing details of their extraordinary hunting techniques and the lifestyle that sets them apart from most contemporary societies. The men of the tribe spend hours crafting arrows from sticks, sharpening them with great care. They use a toxic plant on the arrow tips to enhance their hunting efficiency. Although they might appear rudimentary to an outsider, these arrows are highly effective in the hands of the Hza hunters, who regularly bring down large game like baboons. Moreover, the physical fitness among the Hza seems almost a byproduct of their demanding lifestyle. With no access to modern gyms or fitness equipment, their well-toned bodies and impressive musculature are a direct result of their daily activities. Hunting and gathering require immense strength and stamina, and even the children of the tribe are visibly muscular. Most impressive of all is how the tribe members consume directly from honeycombs found in the forest. The Hza appear almost immune to bee stings. They can collect honey while being surrounded by swarming bees with little to no concern for the pain. Some scientists speculate that this immunity might be a result of repeated exposure to bee stings from an early age, leading to a desensitization or natural tolerance over generations. They also have a symbiotic relationship with a specific bird species known as the greater honey guide. The Hza people use bird calls to communicate with the honey guides. These birds then lead them to honeycombs, and in return, the tribe leaves behind beeswax for the birds to consume. A stunning example of human-wildlife cooperation. We're not done with the strange part just yet. The Hza eat raw animals, including snakes and bush babies, which would be unthinkable to most people today. Scientists theorize that the Hza may host special gut microbes that allow them to digest these foods safely, a microbiome composition that seems unparalleled anywhere else in the world. Despite all the scientific curiosity and hypotheses, much about the Hza remains a mystery. Their way of life, their robust health without modern interventions, and their profound connection with the natural world pose questions that challenge our understanding of human biology and adaptation. They truly defy all expectations, but they are not alone in doing so. Number 8. The Yanomami Tribe. The Yanomami, one of South America's most prominent indigenous tribes, inhabit the vast rainforests and mountainous regions that stretch across northern Brazil and southern Venezuela. Living in an area that encompasses hundreds of villages, their territory is among the most isolated and untouched parts of the Amazon. The Yanomami rely heavily on hunting, fishing, gathering, and shifting agriculture to sustain their communities. At the heart of their society are their communal dwellings, known as shabonos. These impressive structures are large, circular homes made from locally sourced materials such as wood, vines, and palm leaves. Shabonos serve not only as living spaces, but also as the social and cultural hub of the village, where members gather for ceremonies, discussions, and daily activities. The open central area within each shabono is crucial for communal gatherings. Socially, the Yanomami maintain a relatively egalitarian structure, where decisions are made collectively. Leadership within the tribe is less about power and more about influence. Headmen, known for their wisdom and persuasive abilities, guide their communities through dialogue and consensus. Their authority is rooted in respect rather than coercion, and they play an essential role in conflict resolution and the maintenance of social order. Women, although often excluded from formal decision-making, are the backbone of daily sustenance. They contribute to society by planting gardens, preparing food, and caring for children, while also contributing to the social and spiritual fabric of the community. The Yanomami worldview believes in a complex system of spirits, or sapiripe, that inhabit the forest, animals, and elements of nature. These spirits are not merely mythical, but are considered active forces that influence their daily lives and health. Shamans, who serve as the intermediaries between the physical and spiritual worlds, hold a place of high regard within the tribe. Using hallucinogenic plants like yakuwana, shamans enter altered states of consciousness to communicate with these spirits, seeking guidance, protection, and healing for their people. However, the Yanomami's way of life has come under severe threat in recent years, primarily due to the illegal encroachment of gold miners into their territory. These miners have wrought devastating environmental damage, contaminating rivers with toxic mercury. In response to these challenges, numerous indigenous rights organizations, environmental activists, and even international bodies have rallied to support the Yanomami's struggle for survival. But in any case, the resilience of the Yanomami tribe is a testament to their enduring connection to the land and their profound spiritual traditions. Number 7. Masai Tribe. The Masai Tribe of Kenya and Tanzania has managed to maintain its traditional lifestyle and practices despite the rapid encroachment of modern civilization. The Masai people live a life that seems frozen in time, rooted in customs and rituals that have remained largely unchanged for centuries. Central to their culture is their deep connection with cattle, which play a pivotal role in their daily lives, economy, and social status. Cattle are not just a source of food. They are a measure of wealth and prosperity. A Maasai man's wealth is traditionally calculated by the number of cattle he owns, along with his wives and children. In fact, to the Maasai, a man without cattle is considered impoverished, regardless of his other possessions. The cattle are also integral to their diet, providing milk, meat, and, most notably, blood. Yes, you heard that right. Drinking a cow's blood might seem shocking to outsiders, but for the Maasai, it is a vital tradition. The Maasai use a technique that involves puncturing the jugular vein of the cow with a sharpened arrow, allowing a controlled amount of blood to flow out. They then mix this fresh blood with milk to create a nutrient-rich drink, a delicacy that is often consumed during ceremonies, healing rituals, or simply as part of their regular diet. Once the blood is collected, they skillfully seal the wound on the cow's neck to ensure it heals properly. Beef is another central component of their diet, and its preparation and distribution among the community are steeped in cultural significance. During communal feasts, the division of meat follows strict social codes, where different parts of the cow are distributed according to age, gender, and social status. Other than this, one of the most striking cultural practices of the Maasai is their traditional jumping dance known as adumu. This dance is more than just a display of physical prowess. It is a rite of passage and a test of strength and endurance for Maasai warriors. Young men, known as Morans, perform these impressive vertical jumps as a way to showcase their stamina and energy, often competing to see who can jump the highest without bending their knees. Historically, Maasai warriors were also renowned for their lion hunting skills, a practice that was both a symbol of courage and a rite of passage into adulthood. Although lion hunting is now illegal in Kenya and Tanzania due to conservation efforts, it was once a highly respected tradition that showcased a warrior's bravery and ability to protect the community. Even today, the Maasai retain their identity as fierce guardians of their land and cattle, standing ready to defend their herds against any threats from the wild. Number 6. The Sentinel Tribe. The Sentinelese inhabit North Sentinel Island in the Andaman and Nicobar archipelago of India. They are among the world's most isolated and enigmatic tribes. For thousands of years, this small, forest-covered island, surrounded by coral reefs, has served as both their home and a natural fortress, effectively shielding them from the outside world. The Sentinelese are active guardians of their sovereignty, fiercely resisting all attempts at contact from outsiders. This reflects their desire to maintain their ancestral way of life, unaltered by modernity. As hunter-gatherers, the Sentinelese people have carved out a unique existence that is deeply intertwined with the natural rhythms of their island. They rely exclusively on the land and sea for their sustenance, employing simple yet highly efficient tools crafted from materials found on the island and its surroundings. Their diet primarily consists of wild game, fish, and gathered plants, all sourced from the dense forests and the coastal waters that surround them. Attempts to reach out to the Sentinelese have consistently been met with fierce resistance. They have greeted intruders with a volley of arrows and spears. This hostility is not a random act of aggression, but a deliberate defense of their way of life against any potential threat. Recognizing the Sentinelese determination to remain isolated, the Indian government has enforced strict regulations that prohibit any approach to the island. However, in 2018, an American missionary defied these regulations and attempted to make contact. He was met with the most horrifying consequences. Time and again, the Sentinelese have clearly communicated through their actions that they wish to be left alone. Number 5. The Tribes of Papua. The people of Papua, particularly those from the highlands of Papua New Guinea, have long been associated with traditional practices that many might find difficult to understand or accept in today's world. Among these practices is cannibalism. But why do they do it? For the tribes of Papua, such as the Korowai or the Dani people, cannibalism is not about hunting others for food, but rather a ritualistic and symbolic act tied to their spiritual beliefs and traditions. The people of Papua traditionally consume the bodies of the deceased within their community as a way to honor their loved ones. In their culture, allowing the body of a family member to decompose and be consumed by worms is considered disrespectful. Instead, by consuming the body themselves, they believe they are paying tribute to the deceased, symbolically keeping their spirit within the community and preventing it from wandering or becoming trapped in an undesirable state. This practice, as strange and unsettling as it may seem, is deeply intertwined with their spiritual understanding of death and the afterlife. It is viewed not only as a way to honor their loved ones, but also as a means to ward off malevolent spirits. Cannibalism among these tribes is reserved for specific, often ceremonial occasions. This explains why certain diseases commonly associated with cannibalistic practices, such as kuru, a neurodegenerative disorder similar to mad cow disease, are not widespread among them. Despite the waves of modernization and the influence of external cultures in Papua New Guinea, some tribes continue to adhere to these age-old traditions, maintaining a lifestyle that is largely disconnected from the advancements of the modern world. The persistence of such practices may be rooted in a strong sense of cultural identity and a desire to preserve their heritage. They perceive these rituals as part of their legacy, a way to maintain their connection to their ancestors and an essential aspect of their spiritual belief system. Number 4. The Korowai Tribe. Amidst the dense, remote jungles of Papua, the Korowai tribe has carved out a life that intertwines both ancient traditions and a cautious acceptance of the modern world. Historically, the Korowai lived in almost complete isolation, adhering to customs that included practices like ritual cannibalism, aimed at seeking vengeance against perceived enemies. This practice, once integral to their belief system, has largely disappeared as the tribe has gradually opened its doors to the influences of modern civilization and external contact. Despite this evolution, the core of their cultural identity remains intact, centered around their symbiotic relationship with the rainforest that has shaped their way of life for generations. The Korowai were relatively unknown to the outside world until a chance encounter in 1978 when Dutch missionary Johannes Veldhuizen became one of the first to document their existence. One of the most striking features of Korowai culture is their ingenious tree houses, which are architectural marvels designed to blend seamlessly into their environment. These elevated structures, sometimes towering up to 45 meters above the forest floor, are typically built on the sturdy branches of banyan or wan bon trees. Constructed entirely from natural materials like branches, bark, and rattan vines, the tree houses are assembled without the aid of modern tools, such as nails or hammers. The precision and skill required to build these homes is nothing short of remarkable. Safety is also a key aspect of their design. Wooden barriers encircle the platform to prevent children from falling, while long, vine-like ladders provide access to these aerial abodes. Tree houses are more than just a practical solution for the Korowai. They are central to their way of life. Beyond serving as a defense mechanism against the region's abundant insects and dangerous wildlife, these elevated dwellings offer protection from potential raids or kidnappings by rival groups. The Korowai's preference for living high above the ground is also symbolic. It signifies their close ties to their ancestral land and their resourceful approach to using its gifts. Remarkably, the lifespan of a Korowai treehouse is also used as a measure of time within the community. They expect each house to last between 3 to 5 years, marking the passage of their lives in sync with the natural cycle of their homes. The social structure of the Korowai tribe is intricate and rooted in a strong sense of tradition. Their society is stratified by age and gender roles, with men and women leading largely separate lives. Children stay with their mothers, learning the ways of the forest and household tasks until they reach an age when boys are ready to join the men. This initiation into manhood is marked by the ability to move silently through the dense underbrush. Men are the primary hunters and protectors, while women focus on foraging and domestic duties. Marriages within the tribe are structured by a set of expectations. Young girls often marry soon after reaching maturity, while men are required to attain a level of wealth or resources before they can seek a bride, usually by providing a dowry or hosting a ceremonial feast. Despite their close-knit communities and deep-seated traditions, the Coro are not without internal conflict. Disputes frequently arise over matters such as accusations of witchcraft, theft, or breaches of marital loyalty. Within Coro belief systems, witchcraft is taken very seriously, although accusations are notoriously difficult to prove and often lead to intense scrutiny and tension within the tribe. Offenses like adultery, however, can lead to severe consequences, including exile or, in extreme cases, execution. The Coro's gradual transition into the 21st century is a delicate balancing act between maintaining the essence of their ancient culture and navigating the realities of a world that is increasingly encroaching upon their once secluded lands. While some members of the tribe have embraced elements of modern life, like engaging in trade or occasionally participating in interactions with outsiders, the Coro as a whole remain fiercely protective of their traditions. They are a people at a crossroads, striving to hold on to the legacy of their ancestors while cautiously exploring what the future might hold. If you thought this was odd, there's more down the list. Number 3. The Pygmies of the Congo. The term Pygmies has often been used to describe various groups of short-heighted indigenous people in Central Africa. The Pygmies, particularly those from the Congo basin, represent several different communities with unique languages, traditions, and ways of life. They are often hunter-gatherers who have survived in one of the most challenging environments on the planet by living in harmony with the forest. Though the most well-known groups include the Mbuti, aka, and Baka, these communities collectively number in the hundreds of thousands. What truly sets these groups apart is their adaptation to the forest environment and their skills as hunter-gatherers, which are unmatched by many others. Even with their relatively small physical stature, often averaging around 4 feet 10 inches or less for adults, they exhibit exceptional strength and agility. They use handmade tools, bows, nets, and traps to catch a variety of game. This lifestyle has not only shaped their physical abilities, but also influenced their social structure, culture, and spiritual beliefs, which are closely intertwined with the natural world they depend on. Unfortunately, the Pygmies of the Congo have historically been subjected to discrimination, marginalization, and even persecution. One of the darkest aspects of their history is their victimization by other tribes or groups who practice cannibalism. Stories from the past recount how they were hunted by some of their neighboring tribes who viewed them as easy targets. This has led to widespread suffering and reduced populations of these indigenous groups. In addition, conflicts such as guerrilla warfare and the devastating impact of diseases have only added to their plight. Despite these adversities, the survival of the Pygmy tribe speaks to their resilience and adaptability. Many of their communities have managed to maintain their cultural identity and traditions in the face of encroaching modernity and ongoing threats. In recent times, awareness of their plight has grown. This has led to efforts to protect their rights and preserve their way of life. But most of all, their existence continues to challenge conventional scientific understanding of human adaptation and survival. How they thrive in conditions that would overwhelm others can reveal insights into human evolution, diet, and health. As small as they might be, the Pygmy tribes possess vast knowledge about the medicinal properties of plants, sustainable hunting practices, and ecological balance. Although their numbers have dwindled over the centuries, the remaining tribes still stand as a testament to human diversity and adaptability. Number 2. The Mochen Tribe. Often dubbed Sea Gypsies, the Mochen people, for countless generations, have roamed the waters of the Miek archipelago in Myanmar. They have embraced a nomadic existence that is inextricably linked to the sea. Their home is not a place on land, but their distinctive kabang boats, where they are born, grow up, and eventually pass away. Yes, this is no exaggeration. The Mochen come ashore only briefly during the harsh monsoon season, setting up temporary camps on the coast before returning to the open sea. According to Mochen legend, their ocean-bound lifestyle originated as a divine decree, a punishment from an ancient queen upon her unfaithful husband, a Mochen man. Yet to those who know them, it's clear that the Mochen do not see their seafaring life as a curse or burden. On the contrary, they have embraced it with a sense of purpose and belonging that goes beyond myth. Their connection to the ocean is a bond strengthened by centuries of adaptation and an intimate knowledge of the marine environment. This unique relationship with the sea has shaped them into exceptional free divers, capable of holding their breath for extended periods and seeing with unparalleled clarity underwater, all without any scuba gear. This adaptation to life on the water is not merely a matter of survival, but a way of being that defines the Mochen identity. They rely on fishing and beachcombing to sustain themselves, gathering sea cucumbers, mollusks, and other treasures from the seabed. Their keen skills in hunting and foraging beneath the waves are matched by their expertise in crafting tools and traps from the natural resources around them. The Mochen trade the marine products they collect with traders on the mainland, bartering for essential items like rice, petrol, and basic supplies. This exchange represents almost their only interaction with the outside world, allowing them to maintain a lifestyle that remains largely independent and self-sufficient. The social structure of Mochen society revolves around extended family groups who travel together in small flotillas led by a family head. These groups navigate the archipelago's waters as a unit, sharing resources and responsibilities. The Mochen practice ancestor worship, guided by shamans who play a vital role in their spiritual practices. Through elaborate rituals involving offerings, trances, and dances, they communicate with the spirit world, which they regard as a protector of their seafaring life. These ceremonies not only honor their ancestors, but also strengthen their bond with the forces of nature. Impressed, right? Well, you will feel just as strongly about this next one. Number 1. The Surma Tribe. The Surma people, who inhabit the remote southwestern region of Ethiopia, are a resilient and culturally rich group whose way of life is deeply intertwined with their environment. This rugged landscape, characterized by its savannas, riverine forests, and mountainous terrains, shapes their semi-nomadic lifestyle. The Surma are primarily pastoralists, herding cattle, which also serve as the cornerstone of their social and economic systems. Cattle are integral to their daily lives, influencing everything from dietary habits to significant social practices like marriage negotiations, where they play a crucial role in dowry for brides and compensation during disputes. While cattle herding dominates their livelihood, agriculture also plays a complementary role, providing additional sustenance and stability to their diet. One of the most distinctive aspects of Surma culture is their unique practice of body modification, particularly the use of lip plates by women. This tradition begins at a young age when girls insert small clay discs into their lower lips, gradually replacing them with larger ones over time. These lip plates symbolize beauty, social status, and a young woman's readiness for marriage within Surma society. The size of the plate often correlates with the individual's social significance and is a mark of her family's honor and her own personal resilience. In addition to lip plates, the Surma people are also renowned for their elaborate body art, which involves both painting and scarification. Using natural pigments derived from local plants and minerals, they adorn their bodies with intricate patterns that reflect their creativity and cultural heritage. These designs hold deep spiritual and symbolic meanings, often representing important life events, protection from evil spirits, or connections to their ancestors. Scarification, on the other hand, involves deliberate and precise cuts on the skin, creating raised patterns that are both a form of beautification and a rite of passage, signifying milestones in one's life journey, such as coming of age or acts of bravery. Socially, the Surma community is structured around a clan-based system and organized into age sets that guide social roles and responsibilities. Elders play a pivotal role in leadership, guiding their clans with wisdom and experience. Decisions are reached through communal discussions where consensus is sought among clan members. One of the most dynamic and culturally significant traditions among the Surma is the practice of donga, a form of ritualized stick fighting. This traditional sport is more than just a physical contest. It is a powerful expression of bravery, strength, and masculinity. Young men engage in these matches to prove their valor, resolve personal disputes, and enhance their status within the community. Donga is as much about individual honor as it is about communal solidarity. It settles conflicts and builds camaraderie among participants. Despite the pressures of modernization and external influences, the Surma people continue to fiercely preserve their cultural heritage and traditional way of life. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Did you like this video? If you did, please consider liking, dropping a comment, and hitting the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on our new uploads. Also, don't miss this video you see on your screen right now. It's truly unbelievable.